Let's start by creating our player scene, so 2D scene, and also let's change it to change type to kinematic body. Let's add also sprite. Let's add camera. Let's do here, let's make it a child. Let's set zoom to 2 and also set it to current and save the let's rename the node to player. Let's save it. Let's also add a new node 2D and let's rename it to bullet spawner. Then we will add new to the sprite, we will add the icon. Bullet spawner will transform it to 40 on the x-axis, and let's add new script to the player. And now we'll make the basic player script that rotates towards the mouse position. So we'll get ready bullet spawner. It will be node 2D, and we will get the bullet spawner. Then we will create new signal called spawn bullet, and we will pass two variables through it, so spawn position and also the bullet rotation. Then we will create process function which will return void. We will also do lookout, get global mouse position, so it will rotate towards the mouse. It will be if input is action just press left mouse button. I already set up the input, so, and we will call spawn bullet function when the left mouse button is pressed. Then we'll create function spawn bullet. It will be type void. Then we will emit signal spawn bullet will be bullet spawner will position and also rotation of the player node. It will make sense soon enough. Okay, then we will create new scene, and it will be 2D scene as well. It will be type of kinematic body, and we will change it to bullet. We will save it, create this, add sprite to it. We'll add again the icon for the purpose of this tutorial. Okay, then I will just set the Y scale to 0.2. We will also add collision shape, and let's make it a circle, and let's leave it at 10. Let's just offset it on X by 232, so it's in the front of the bullet. Okay, and let's create the bullet script. Alright, so here we will create new signal, get hit, add position. Also we'll create constant speed of type float, and it will be around 500, will be good enough. Then we will have three variables: direction, velocity, and also collision data. Of type of kinematic collision. Then in function ready, we'll create set movement vector. After that we'll do function physics process, return void, will now pass. Okay, and then function set movement vector, return void, and let's do direction. equals vector2 cosinus rotation sinus rotation. This will give us forward vector. No, basically it will take the rotation of the bullet itself and get the forward vector towards the point. So basically if it's pointing to the right, it will go to the right. If it points up, it will go up. Okay, and then velocity will be direction times speed. Cool. And now in the physics process, we'll do move and slide. It will be velocity. And now then we will detect if the body, well, if the bullet collided with anything. So if get slide count equals 0. So basically, oh sorry, not equals 0, not equals 0. So basically if it collided with anything, we want to do something. So we will gather then collision data. It is to prevent basically errors in the debugger. Get slide collision on index 0. So the first collision will be what we want. Okay, then if collision data not equals null, so basically we collided with something, and also collision data collider has method on got hit. So basically if the body we collided have this this function method, whatever, you can swap the names around, we want to do something. So we will then emit signal and we will get hit, and also we will pass two variables, which is collision data position, oh sorry, one variable plus velocity normalized. So why are we passing the velocity and we normalize it as well? Because the TileMap will round up the global, basically world position to the nearest tile inside the TileMap. So to prevent the errors where basically the TileMap will try to delete the tile that is not there, we want to add slightly more towards where the bullet was going, so the TileMap always pick the right tile. And that will be it. Then we will create our base scene. So to this scene we'll create base, we'll add TileMap, we'll add to it also the node 2D and underneath, and also we will link our player scene and we will save it. Okay, so this will be change it to effects, and we will add to script to the base, we will add script to the TileMap, and we will add script to the effects. Okay, now because we're using the signal to spawn the bullet, we need to connect it to something. So what we will do is we will try to access the player. So what we will do first of all is on ready the effects node, type node 2D. We'll access the effects node, so basically we have a reference to this node here. And then also on ready for TileMap, we'll also try to access the node 2D. Oh sorry, not 2D, but TileMap, and also we'll get TileMap. So we get a reference to the TileMap. Okay, and then we'll create new variable player of type kinematic body 2D. Okay, now in function ready, which will return void, we want to do something like this: player equals as player, and then whoops, not equals equals, but just equals, and then if player not equals null. So we're just checking if actually player is in the scene, because sometimes he might not be. Okay, then we'll do player connect, we'll do spawn bullet, we will do self, and we will call it on bullet spawn. So what we do is basically taking this signal from here and we're connecting it to the base node. So basically this node will trigger whatever we want if player will emit the signal. So now we will just need to create on bullet spawned function on bullet spawned, and it will return void. It also need to accept bullet spawner and also bullet rotation. Oh, sorry, not bullet spawner, but bullet position. And here we will basically call get effects node and call spawn bullet function, and we will pass bullet position and also bullet rotation. All right. Now in the effects node, in the effects, let's create bullet scene. It will be packed scene equals preload bullet scene. Also we'll create function on bullet spawned, sorry, not spawn bullet add position bullet rotation. Then we'll create variable bullet instance and we'll get bullet scene instance. So now we're basically calling this and effects will act upon it. Okay, then we'll do bullet instance, global position equals set position, and then bullet instance rotation, not rotate, rotation equals bullet rotation. Then we will add child bullet instance. So now if we play the scene, you can see bullets getting spawned and they fly away into the rotation of the body, no matter where we point. Cool. So now what we want to create the chunks for the tile map to basically destroy itself. So we'll create new scene, 2D scene, we will change the type to rigid body. We'll save not as node but chunk. We'll save it. We'll add new sprite. We'll add the icon as well, and we'll create the region and we'll set size to 16 by 16. Okay. And we will create, no, we don't need, sorry, we need a script as well. So in the chunk script, what we want is get the reference for the sprite of type sprite, and we will get the sprite. Then we will want chunk size, So that's the size of our chunk, or how big will be our chunks. And then function set cut, and then cut position. So this will be function that will cut our sprite. It will be sprite region rect, and then we'll do rect 2. It will be cut position, and then chunk size. So we basically, in this, we're taking this position of the thing, well, inside the sprite. So for example, if I move it, and first if I zoom in, you can see, like, if I move it, it's like moving the sprite. So let's keep it at 0, 0. Okay. Now we will create the TileMap script, which will basically act upon destroying TileMap script. So let's go and do just that. So in TileMap, we want new variable, and it will be cell library. It will be type dictionary, and it will be that, and it will be index 0, and it will be texture start position, and it will be vector 2, 0, 0. So for example, if you had like large tile map which you would have multiple sprites in it, you can then use the cell library to define which part of the whole image you want to cut away. And also in the tile map, we'll create new tile set here, and let's put the icon, let's create new single tile, and let's create collision for it, and let's save it. Okay, and let's continue. So here it will be signal, it will be spawn chunk, and then chunk position, and also sprite cut. Okay, and now it will be var chunk count int of 4, and then var offset value, it will be float 16. So basically this will be used for how many chunks we want in X and Y. Okay, and now we want to create new function on got hit and collision position. So now you can see in the bullet we got this on got hit. So basically it will only react to the tile map. If it hits the tile map, it will react and it will call this position. Okay, and then we want var cell position, and then it will be vector 2. We want to rule to map, and we will be collision position. So now we accessing the which cell was hit in tilemap coordinates instead of world coordinates. So then we will get cell index, which will be int, and it will be get cell v, and then will be cell position. So now we accessed where the cell was hit, but we want to know which one, so it will return our index of the cells in the tilemap. So in this case, in our setup, it will return 0. And now you can see the basically how we can use this to define other aspects. And now if cell index not equals -1, we want offset, vector 2, vector 2, and then var chunk sprite cut start, and it will be cell library, and we will turn it into a string because we're using the string for our key in the dictionary, so it will be string cell index, and then we will access the texture start position. Okay, and now we will cut our sprites. So for x, and also spawn the chunks for x in range 0, 4, and then for y in range 0, 4, we'll do var spawn position equals map to world. So we're converting now the the map coordinates into the world coordinates. So cell position. Oh my bad, forgot the in range. Not forgot, but just yeah. And so we're converting it to world coordinates to spawn the chunks. And then we'll add offset to it. After that, we want var sprite cut equals chunk sprite cut start plus offset, and then we will emit signal spawn chunk, and it will be chunk position, spawn position, and also it will be plus vector yes, plus vector 8, vector 2, 8, 8. This is to basically because how tilemaps work, it will, if we start spawning at directly the spawn position, it will move the tilemaps and the tiles slightly up. So we want to prevent that, so we're adding 8 pixels. It might vary based on the size of the sprite. And then sprite cut. Okay, after that we want to offset y plus equals offset value, and also here offset y equals 0 and offset x equals plus equals offset value. So basically we looping as we loop through each column, each row, it will also loop through each column. So we're adding the offset to the y. So basically it will spawn the chunks underneath them, then move to the next column, spawn them, move to the next column, spawn them. Okay, and then all we do at the end, it will be set cell at cell position to -1. So this will completely delete this and the tile from the tile map. Okay, and now we just need to connect the signal spawn chunk. So what we will do is in base, we don't need to do it, we can use the time map. So here we can do spawn chunk and connect it to the base, and then let's move it slightly in effects node, we can call span chunk, and we want to pass chunk position and also chunk sprite, chunk position and sprite cut. Perfect. Now in the effects, let's create the new function, and it will be span chunk, span position, sprite cut, and it will return void. And also I forgot to do here, and now we will be var chunk instance, and also here will be var chunk scene packet scene, and it will be preload, and it will be chunk scene instance, and now we will do chunk instance global position equals chunk position, span position, and also add child chunk instance, and then we will do chunk instance set cut. Sprite cut. Okay, and now what we also want to do is connect the bullet to the tile map. So we will create new signal, and we'll pass bullet instance. No, bool instance bullet, and here we will do emit signal connect bullet to TileMap and bullet instance. Now we'll also do effects and connect to the base, and here we will connect actual signal to the from the bullet to the TileMap. So instance bullet connect, and it was get hit, and we will pass the and we will connect it to the TileMap, and also in TileMap on got hit. Okay, and it should work. So if we create some tiles and play the scene. Oh, my bad. I know what I forgot. Collision shape. That's what I forgot. And let's do rectangle. Let's set it to 8 by 8. That's the first thing, and also let's disable the gravity. Okay, and now everything should work. Yeah, so this is basically how you create destructible tile maps in Godot.